Foink.
Me.
Okay, so do you want me... Were the interjections distracting the last
Not
time?
at all. Not
Okay,
at all.
we'll see.
And if they were, it was in a good way.
Okay, good.
If they were, it was like, kind of thing.
We'll see what happens this time.
Okay. Upright, upright, and fancy, fancy. Upright, upright, and fancy. Upright, upright, and fancy, fancy. Upright, upright, and fancy. Starring
Kara
and Chris. Ooh.
Interjections because you did it so perfectly.
Thank you.
I was thinking, and there were a couple different times I was like, I'm just gonna ruin it.
No,
I was gonna make a terrible your mom joke.
It was really cute though, because I was like,
when's it gonna happen? And I feel like I just sometimes you just find yourself in awe of your friends, and your jokes just aren't worth it.
Well, you're sweet to say. I always welcome your interjection. So yeah.
Well,
in
I
whatever
appreciate
capacity
that.
of interjection is.
Also, Chris he has one of my favorite features in friendship, which is keeping his phone on silent at night, because I'm a big
Late night texter?
I'm a big late night texter.
Yeah.
And I don't expect late night responses. I mean, not for the text I send you, that is. But like, no, but I'm saying I don't. No pressure. When I send you a picture of my tits, you can take a minute. You can say,
sure.
yeah. You can phone a friend.
I've got my phone to have it set where it gives me a notification if that happens. If there are tatas involved, it gives me like an Amber Alert sound on there. It's like the whole room erupts because I'm like, oh shit, sorry. Like, no, it's just boobs. It's just boobs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My homosexuality was in question. So,
That's funny.
Anyway, basically, you are fantastic, and you sing so well.
Oh, thank you.
And we're so excited to be doing the 7th episode of Upright and Fancy. Oh my God, yes.
Let's start that one back up.
I fucked up the timer already.
You're good.
We got a new timer. It has a happy little cloud on it.
It does. And this is Upright and Fancy, episode 7.
Lucky number 7.
Lucky number 7. To commemorate lucky number 7, I think we should show it full on.
Oh yeah. Give them the full. The people
it's
who are watching, that is.
So cute.
So
it is a new timer that
if
Kara brought us.
So I'm a big fan of the visual timer. I am very ADD. I guess neurodivergent was the wider umbrella term.
I put the nerd in neurodivergent. You know what I'm saying? The nerd divergent.
I'm gonna just call myself nerd divergent.
Yeah, totally.
And see how long before someone cancels us for it.
100%.
I like it. Okay, so we're both nerd divergent.
Yeah.
And so we need a little help, and we like happy little clouds and rainbows.
Happy little clouds and rainbows.
So anyway, we are Chris and Kara.
We are. Last time I checked.
Yeah. And we are here to have fun and maybe give a little advice.
Yeah.
Maybe pick some random questions out of something we call a fishbowl that's not actually a fishbowl. And we're doing it all for fun, for you, for not money.
Yet.
And yeah.
For sanity at this point.
Mm-hmm, for sanity. And for fun is a great reason, I have to say. And you are a good reason, gentle listener / viewer.
You are.
And you sing on the cruise ships. You're about to go back out.
I do.
Where are you going?
So I'm going. I feel like I've been almost every place that I could possibly go. I feel like I've already been to most of it. But this trip, well, just because there's just so many places it's a finite amount of places that they would ship me. However, this next trip coming up, where I leave on Sunday, first trip in like 6 weeks, y'all. I'm a little rusty. I'll be like, Mimi, and it'll come back. I'll be like, Mimi,
All you have to do is put on the sequins.
Yeah,
and
no,
then,
yeah, no, it's true. It's true.
They will align with your chakras, and you'll just glow like a Care Bear.
It's really true. They do align with my chakras.
And I do glow like a Care Bear.
Are my chakras Swarovski? Oh my god, it's so hard to say Swarovski chakras.
I'm not even going to attempt
Oh my god, no, that needs to be my band name. Chris Birkin, the Swarovski
No one could say it.
No, it's gone. Whatever it was. Yeah. It's gone.
I mean, I don't give up on your dreams. Let's put that in the workshop pile.
Chakras are Swarovski. Anyway, so I leave on Sunday, and these are all places I've never been. I could look it up, but it's on there. These are all. So I fly down Sunday, March 17th, and then I get to Rio, or I do that. And I land in Rio at 9:30 the next morning.
Oh my god!
And I have until 11 the next day. With a hotel room and everything. So I just go to the hotel and I hang out. And my two friends are going to be there. The Beckers are going to be there, Fred and Bobby, and they're going to already be there.
Okay.
In the same hotel. And then we're getting on the same ship at the same time. And I've never been to Rio.
I've never been to Rio.
I've been to paradise, but I've never been to me. If you don't know that song, I need to inform you about that song.
All I can hear, it rings bells, but all I think about is Duran Duran's Rio.
Yeah.
Because
that's gonna be me. So
you're gonna dance on the sand.
I am. Well, maybe, I don't know.
You better.
I better. Patreon.
Upright and fancy. If you're upright and fancy in Rio, then you need to be dancing on the sand. Okay.
It's true. I agree.
Okay.
It didn't even occur to me. But
that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for, baby.
So I can't remember the rest of the ports, but I go for like almost 2 weeks, and we go from Rio down the eastern side of South America, which BT Dubs is way farther away than I thought it was. Like, it's a lot of flying to get down there.
Yeah,
like, it's way over there. So then we go from whatever the last port in South America is. Wait. Whatever the southern, I should say southernmost instead of bottom.
Yes.
Mixed messaging.
What's the? We're just going south of the.
There being
the
a bottom,
biggest bottom.
The biggest bottom South America implies that there's a biggest top South America as well.
I mean, it is top heavy in South America.
It is.
I think both geographically and probably demographically. Probably. Because there's a lot of machismo culture. I bet it is hard to find enough open bottoms.
Not open.
Not open bottoms.
Not open.
I mean, willing
participants.
Okay. Willing is not the right word, but like people who are just proud of their bottomness. I mean, I think there's a lot of power in being a power bottom.
It's called
it's
that
on
for
my
a reason.
Family crest.
It's called
just
that
kidding.
for a reason. I mean, power, right? So it's in the name.
Yeah. Okay, so you're power bottom.
Anyway,
South America.
So whenever I get to the power bottom of South America, then we go over to Europe, and we have a couple different. I think they're Spanish ones, but we land in the Canary Islands. We finish in the Canary Islands, and we all leave the ship, and we have another hotel room in the Canary Islands all day, and then like our flight's at like 7:00 the next morning, and we all go to like London, and then I think I go from London to Madrid, and then Madrid back to Nashville or something like that. In the airport.
Okay.
It's only a stop. But anyway, I've never been to any of these places before, and then I fly back. I'm home for 2 days, and I go from Miami to the Azores, which is a Portuguese island, which I have been to before. But I have to fly out of there. But all of that is madness and mayhem, and I'm very thankful for it.
That is amazing.
It's craziness, and I have to be thankful for it. I have to be thankful for the little cartoon mug coming out, the cup coming out of the four of cups.
Yes.
I have to be cognizant of it.
Yeah, look for what's being offered
gifts.
to you.
Yeah.
Don't just look down at the cups that are empty on the floor.
Yes.
Okay, so people listening, watching, we have a little pre-show part where we just like pull a tarot card. We get a little warmed up, and anyway, if you want to hear that, you should, because
because it was hilarious.
Because clearly you can't take your eyes off us, and why are you obsessed with us?
Why are you obsessed with us? I just wanted to.
I mean, you answered your own question, baby.
Clearly.
So we for our card we got the Four of Cups reversed. Four of Cups regs is, basically about kind of coming to a place of boredom, complacency, not sort of seeing the things that are being offered to you because you're just looking at what you're not satisfied with. And this is the opposite of that, basically. Yeah. We are saying, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll take a sip.
We are being grateful for the cup runneth.
Abundanza.
I don't know if it's over.
No, I mean...
I lost the plot on that because...
I think that I think you're already not paying attention to what's being offered to you, Chris.
True. True. I went off.
And I think
I went off.
You went off. I think that you are having a great time, and you are an erudite world traveler.
Erudite is a great word.
I hope I'm saying it correctly. I love it. There's this part of
it's spelled great too.
This flight. It is, yeah. The Flight of the Conchord song. It's like erudite, hardworking lady. And that is what. As I've said before, I'm very good at singing, and all the time that just like pops into my head, and so every time I think of you, I'll just think about you being an erudite, hardworking lady.
I put the air in erudite,
or something.
Yeah, I'll definitely put the nerd in neurodivergent. You
put the dyke in erudite.
Is it erudite?
No, it's not. No. I'm just being extra
but I would be the dyke in erudite. What?
No,
probably not. So,
if you have to ask, you can't afford it. So I don't know what I'm saying.
This is what
what you're doing.
That's what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. That's my check-in story. I've been busy doing all that, and I leave on Sunday. So that's my check-in. What about this one? What about you?
I feel like
You're like, I think we're done with this part.
I think that time part. My life isn't as exciting. I don't have the. It's been busy, but I have not been, planning international adventures. I have not been trying on my sequin suits.
Oh my God, I hope it still fits.
You know it will. But basically, yeah, I've been, I had a bestie come to visit, and that was fun. I went to the zoo. That's really sexy. I did that yesterday.
I think that's fun.
Mm-hmm. It was fun.
Good.
And, with my daughter, and, and we basically, my friend and I just talked about really inappropriate things the whole time, interjected with like, Look at the gibbon.
Not the gibbon.
Not the gibbon.
Not the gibbon.
Those gibbons were howling.
Yeah, them gibbons, dough.
Them gibbons. I don't even know why that's so funny.
I don't either.
But yeah, I'm so excited about it. Also, your computer broke. You've had some stuff going on. So we're our podcast release schedule, a little bit pushed back. But we are so excited about this. Number 7. And
yes.
And also, I just have to say, because I feel like I signed my name in the devil's book, and I must always. So I know this will come out long after it's already been out. But currently, it's in the future. So
true.
Future me and future me cannot wait for the release of Beyonce Act 2, Carter Country. Also, Carter Country. I think it is. There's very good reason to believe that is a specific reference to the way that the Carter family, who I enjoy, but they're one of the major pioneers of country music, that they stole a lot of things from Black people, Latina people, and especially like Mother Mabel's signature picking style, directly taken from this Black person that was a consultant but never given the credit for. Anyway, so I think there's a lot of this like nerd, nerd history about like the way Black culture is country culture and was just stolen and rebranded. And
no, that makes sense. That makes sense. I always talk about in my show how close I think classic country and classic soul is.
Oh,
like
yeah, it's the same stuff.
They are interchangeable. I was on stage one time and I had that thought and I was like, yeah, I mean, they're because I was about to sing Tennessee Whiskey. Mm-hmm. But I do a soul show, but then I add Tennessee Whiskey because I feel like it's a soul song.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is proof of how close they are because I feel like it, and I sing it soulfully, whatever.
Oh, you sing it beautifully.
So,
better than Christy.
Oh my God! I don't know.
I mean, I'm not like that's just true.
But you're sweet. I freaking love singing that song. So the very first time that I told that story that popped in my head that I said those words, I was like, yeah, I mean, and you know exactly my thing about soul music is that you know exactly what the song is about, even if you've never heard it. Just by the way it makes you feel. That's my premise of soul music. So I was like, it's the same with country music. When you hear my DIVORCE is final today, you know what it's about, even if you can't spell, And
I remember being a little kid and listening to that song on a little mixtape and like being like, what does that mean? And why won't my parents get one?
But if only.
If only.
But I said that joke on stage and I thought it was fucking hilarious and not one person even giggled.
Okay, so I have 3 words for you. Pearls before swine. They didn't deserve that joke.
Well, maybe it didn't come out of my mouth the same way that it did that time, but...
I think you know how to use your mouth, but
it's workshopping. Well, it's workshopping.
Okay, I think that maybe... we could do some fishbowl questions. What do you think, baby?
Question? I would love to.
So, wait, are we going to do this? Wait, did you come up with any ideas for the fishbowl song? How to make it better?
I did not. I haven't reheard it because I'm in the process of editing.
Because computer problems.
And I have edited 1 and 2, and then there were computer problems, and then there was a car problem, and there was all kinds of other things. So I haven't started on 3 yet. But fishbowl song didn't start till like 5 or something.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was a gift we got from the gods, and we can't question when or how.
Whenever I get to that song, that whichever that one is.
So I guess we'll just go with the. I know everyone wants to hear it. Let me take a drink of my mango hard seltzer.
It's a spindrift seltzer. It's great.
It is. It's so good. Fishbowl, fishbowl, put your hand in the hole. Take something out, take a look. What is there to say?
I love it so much. I really do.
Okay.
I really love it so much.
I'm so glad.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
We have very different gifts, you and I, but both gifts.
That was a good one.
Okay, what's it gonna be?
I don't know.
Oh.
If it's too hardcore, we can pick another.
Just not the vibe I was expecting. How alike are you to your parents?
Oh, no, it's definitely not the vibe.
That's, I feel like we should... Okay, I definitely would like to talk about this, but I feel like we're just silly. Let's redraw.
Let's redraw.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to break the rules, but I just feel this is gonna be
because that could be
this is gonna be like what are you most ashamed of?
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so funny. It probably will be. Oh no! Oh no!
I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
I tried to turn away from the mic. I know my laugh is abrasive. Okay, I opened a piece of paper that literally just says boundaries. What?
That was one of the very first ones I put in there because I was having issues.
What kind of boundary?
I don't know anything here. Let's do another.
I think the universe wants us to get into it.
But I don't know that I'm up for it. I think silly's good.
Silly's good. Okay.
Boy, that's
I'm gonna
hardcore.
look for. I'm gonna
dig deeper.
Energetically request silly.
That was hilarious.
Okay, I think we got 2 together.
If not, we can do your game over there too.
Oh yeah.
Because we have your game.
Oh, thank you. See, ask and you shall receive. favorite Muppet and why.
Oh, yes, this is a good time for that one. It's a good time. And energetically, we have come upon the right thing.
Whew, that was a close one.
That was a close one.
It just set boundaries, Chris.
Oh my God. That is...
It just set boundaries.
Oh my God. I don't know. Did we put it back in there?
I mean...
Well, we'll get it again and we'll have the same reaction, I'm sure.
Oh my God, Chris.
Oh my God.
That was good. That was good. I feel trolled by the universe.
Yeah, no, that was definitely one of those that was somewhat meant to be. You called it. You were like, this is the next one that's going to happen. We're going to have something crazy.
But it was even like all the ones. So Chris is the person who writes them down, puts them in the beautiful little sugar dish, and so I really don't know what's in there.
Yeah, which is kind of fun. I love that. I don't either, really. I forgot some of them too.
Yeah, but like almost all of them are like, some kind of, there's like, it's really
silliness.
But it's a question. It doesn't
it's not
just a word.
Boundaries?
Boundaries?
There was a question mark?
There was boundaries.
Boundaries?
No, I don't have any. Next question. Nope. Yeah. No, I'm learning about my boundaries, but the Muppets.
Yeah, let's do the Muppets.
Definitely
Muppets.
Yeah. So, it's really, okay. I know you have an immediate answer. I have some things I'm cycling through because there's a lot I want to say and no one needs to hear all of my Muppet thoughts.
Well,
please go ahead. I'm
going to give two.
Okay.
But I'll try to be concise about it, and I'll hopefully give you enough time to collect your thoughts about your favorite Muppet.
So many favorite Muppets.
So my first favorite Muppet was Rolf.
Oh yeah.
Because he was musical, and because he was fun, and because he was just like a good dude, and, and everything was kind of like. But he had his own thing.
And also, I love the way he looked, like that,
the floppy ears and everything.
Yeah, just that brown sort of like
soft.
70s rug look.
Totally soft. Like I definitely wanted to like step on him. I'm just kidding. Because he's a wreck. But no, like he was like I loved his texture. You're right. I love the texture of him. But I love that he was a musician. It was good to me. But my favorite, I think was he a part of the Electric Mayhem? I think he was because I don't know if he was.
That's a really good question. I am going to look this up on my phone.
Well, we will add it to the notes. To the notes, I will. So he was my favorite for a while, and the Electric Mayhem is amazing.
Oh my God, the Electric Mayhem.
I feel like because what's his name? The main dude, the Dr. Teeth, was an organ player. So I don't know if they needed piano. That's
what I was thinking. Yeah, and I feel like I'm sure he guested.
He must have. That's my thought too. Is that he was a guest. He was a guest star. He was a Heather Locklear in Melrose Place.
But your favorite was 100% in the Electric Mayhem.
100%. So that was my segue. So Rolf was my first favorite, and then all of a sudden I encountered Janice, and Janice is my absolute favorite.
Also known as Lips. So if you imagine the Muppet that could be called Lips that was a female, there is a dearth of good female Muppets from this time period.
Yeah.
And
there were like three or like something.
Because most puppeteers were all dudes because it's a field that was new and also one that required a lot of time out of the home because it's really time consuming. Yeah. And anyway, so
and I think Miss Piggy took up a lot of space. It took up a lot of the oxygen in the room, if you know what I mean. Like
for sure.
Like she was HBSE and she
was serving cunt and
she was
and there wasn't there wasn't a lot of room for everyone else. But at the same time also, sexism, all the things. There need to be more
definitely
great female Muppets. But in general, Janice was the Atlas carrying the world.
Yeah.
Of
all the other girls of everybody else. She's just like chill. She's probably high. She's probably had a cocktail at some point.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
She probably likes women, if I'm being honest. You know what I mean? Like I just found her to be intriguing, and she was fun, and she would have like the little inadvertent one-liners. Mm-hmm. Like, everything would get quiet, and she'd be like, so then I was like, I'm not going to take my top off. Like, after everybody else gets quiet, and she says something inappropriate. I just loved her. I love her. She's my favorite.
I truly, I always deeply identified. She was, when I was a kid, that was definitely one of my, like, when you see some kind of a lovely, like, paradigm of amazement, and you're like, I want to be like that. I remember looking at Janice the Muppet and being like, maybe I can be cool and sexy like that Muppet, because that is, that's really telling of where my ideas about adulthood
were.
Well, my origin story, well, but I have to say, this might not be interesting to everyone, but I remember thinking this was one of the clearest signs I could ever get. When Chris and we had our meeting to discuss the podcast, we met at a coffee shop.
Retrograde. Up the street.
And it was during a Mercury retrograde, which I was like, is this dangerous, or is this just what we need to do? It's clearly what we need to do.
It was clearly what we needed to do.
So we sit down in our cute little booth, we get our cute little coffee, and he pulls out a notebook, and on the front, he has a sticker that I just keep staring at, and I'm like, Chris, is that a redoing of the cover of Duran Duran's Rio with Janice from the Muppet Show?
It was! That is exactly what it was. You were overwhelmed almost.
I still, like, am a little overwhelmed. I'm a little verklempt just thinking about it now, because I was just like, how, that is so niche.
It's so niche.
It's so niche and so bizarre and also so brilliant. I was like, you and I, yes, please. Like, okay, if you're watching the YouTube, you can see it. Otherwise, we will post it. It is, and I mean, this is one of the things where I'm like, okay, the internet, it's worth it. When this stuff happens, when you can buy that on Redbubble or whatever, the internet's worth it.
TeePublic, I think, or Redbubble. I got some from both.
But yeah, and I saw it, and I just knew.
Heaven.
I just knew. And so if we were to get married, I would put that in my speech, when I just knew it was right.
It was kismet.
It was kismet. Serendipity.
Serendipitous.
And
that's lovely. I like that.
And so Janice, absolutely wonderful.
Yes.
That's
my favorite. So
also, I would say that I did not do an exhaustive deep dive because I have ADD. But I did see basically what the internet first reported. I should have asked ChatGPT, but that's what I should have done. But the internet first reported that because of Ralph's musical ability, people incorrectly assumed that he was a member of the Electric Mayhem. So he wasn't. It was just some dudes and Dr. Teeth and Lips. But they had guests, obviously.
Okay, so he played with them sometimes.
I think so, but I didn't do.
I think so too. Yeah. Okay. All right. That would be a fun deep dive. Mm-hmm. I want to hear wrong about the Muppets. Like,
oh my God, I would live for this. Okay, I've been reading a biography about Jim Henson, so I'm ready for this.
No, I was going to read Charles Schultz, but I'd like to read Jim Henson.
How dare you? Sorry, I'm not. Sorry, I just got a little lost in my head about Jim Henson for a minute. Yeah. But did you know that the original title of the Muppet Show was Sex and Violence? And
actual sex and violence.
Well, that's what it was called, because it was supposed to be funny, because it was like it's a movie with a bunch of puppets, but it was for adults. But a lot of like now, many adults check out at puppet. There can be the coolest puppetry, and they're just like they check out at the word puppet.
Yeah.
And certainly at the word Muppet.
It can be literally about dicks.
Yeah,
right?
And there are puppet shows about dicks. But also never watch Meet the Feebles, please, unless you're really into Muppet sex. And that was upsetting for me.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Anyway, sorry.
Noted.
Okay. Okay, but I need to answer this question because it's very important.
It is. Everyone is...
You're waiting with bated breath to know.
Yes.
And it's so hard because I have my original OG Muppets that I appreciate. But I have to say, there's something about Cookie Monster that I love so much. Like, I feel something in my heart when there's a good Cookie Monster moment. Like, I feel this, like, there's something that is just so, I wouldn't say that we are, the same spirit, but I think that there's something, the way he expresses things, I think, is
just like other than just cookies. Like his character, who he is as a human.
Yeah, and the way
as a human being,
as a human being.
Yeah.
Well, like in the sense of humor of the character,
totally.
like I feel like there's so many things that I don't know, the whimsy and the force of Cookie Monster.
Yes.
And it just makes me so makes me so happy. I also really love Beaker, Professor Honeydew and Beaker.
Yes.
And really like if you're not watching A Muppet's Christmas Carol every Christmas, like you are missing out. Muppet's Christmas Carol, fantastic.
Yes.
And like
it really is good.
Seriously.
It is good.
One of my favorite memes that I saw this Christmas season was reverse cowgirl so we can both watch the Muppet's Christmas Carol.
Oh my god, that's so hardcore.
Anyway, that's my super truncated version of an answer.
I also really love the word truncated.
It's good.
It's good because it also sort of implies you put it in the trunk.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and
shove it away.
I got junk in my trunk. You know this.
You do. Mm-hmm. Oh, I used to.
And I mean, I think you still do.
I got some junk.
And okay, we should do a Muppets deep dive. If anyone wants that, let us know.
Please, a Muppets deep dive. I am game for that.
Oh my god.
Am I nervous about what's in there now?
You're just gonna get one that's like
Boundaries? I remember writing Boundaries because it was the first time. It was when I was first writing it down, and I was having some sort of other issue, and it had to do with boundaries. And so I was like, Toby's like, he actually said something like, "Are you gonna write that down there?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, whatever." Like I was feeling saucy about it.
You're gonna get one that's like bank account balance.
Yeah, right. Yeah. What's stressing you out today? No, I'm gonna get a really fun one.
You're gonna get a fun one. You're getting a fun one.
I'm getting a fun one. They're all stuck together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are.
They've been having fun in there.
Ew. I'm just kidding. Hold on.
I mean, put your hand in the hole. You're gonna get sticky.
Oh no.
What is it?
Religion?
Oh, that can be fun.
Yay or nay, upright or uptight?
Oh. Wow. I like this one.
All right,
do you want to do this today?
Sure,
although I know we're already, but who gives a fuck, right?
Let's do a truncated.
A truncated religion. Okay, sure. This is so great. We're such big, broad topics. We've got favorite Muppet.
Yes.
And religion.
Yeah.
And
religion. It's a question, just like boundaries.
Religion.
Yeah, it's actually I wrote it with boundaries. See, look how big.
There's just this religion.
Religion?
Question mark? Yay or nay?
Upright or uptight?
I love you so much. That's perfect. I feel like people being too serious about religion has been the biggest cause of suffering in human history. Like, people need to stop being fucking uptight and like, yes, about religion, because it is so destructive. I mean, I say this as someone who, I don't know, people think that, oh wait, this is your question and I started answering.
No, I love it.
Okay.
Yeah, have at it. I answered that one first.
Oh, right. Okay,
I did.
Okay.
You're good.
That makes me feel better. I don't want to
No, please. No. I was enjoying where you were going.
Okay. That's what your mom said to me last night.
Not your mama.
Also, my friend, who's an amazing potter, Catherine Lemire-Lozier. I'll post something about her. She showed me her studio the other night, and she was like, "Oh yeah, that's my damp box," and I was like, "Oh, that's what I call your mom." And it still makes me giggle to think about calling someone a damp box. And
damp box is hilarious.
Yeah, I mean,
I've never put those two words together in my life.
Apparently, I don't do enough pottery for that to be a term that I can hear without giggling.
I thought you meant poddery.
What?
That she
pottery?
Pottery, and she went in the studio, like a studio to do podcasts. Yeah, I was in a different place than that, but that ended up with pottery is even better and makes more sense.
Oh my God, she does the most amazing pottery.
I feel
Jesus
like
Christ.
I know her name.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely.
Or have you just posted?
No, you've hung out with her.
I've hung out with her. Okay, yeah, okay, cool.
And and she used to hand dig her own clay and do wood firing, and now because of resources she does ceramic and does electric firing, but it's like the most gorgeous hand carved. And it's a lot of like really and also it's great we're talking about this with religion because she loves to put a lot of satanic shit hidden in there, and like, there's like a lot of incredible imagery, and it's like, but it's also beautiful. But yeah, it's like it's got a lot of we'll post. She's amazing. Anyway, and she has amazing art that is quietly subversive about religion. And I think that religion in general is something that I think it's just incredibly silly to say one way or the other. Like, I think people who are vehement atheists are about as silly as people who are like evangelical Christians, because like no one fucking knows. And this is something that a lot of people don't like. I used to think that this was a thing you could say without upsetting people. I met my in-laws who are very, very religious, and I was like, I just feel like because no one knows, we're all just kind of guessing, and I just saw like the knuckles whiten. I was like, I think it's fair. But, the people, it just so quickly becomes about power and control, and also the Bible has been, and all religious texts have been translated so many times to be used as political documents, and this is all the kind of religion that resonates with me is kind of liberal Quakerism, where you just sort of feel you don't have to even necessarily be Christian to be a liberal Quaker. It's basically the belief that like everyone has a direct pipeline to God, and a lot of the service is just sitting in silence and things, and there's no hierarchy, and everything is done through consensus. They also had there were a lot of Quakers in the South, and a lot of them served very important roles in the Underground Railroad and slavery abolition. Cool. So they're, and like women's suffrage and lots of different things. So they have a better track record than most religions. Yeah. And the fact that it's like there's no hierarchy really weeds out a lot of like shitty people.
Because not power hungry people that see a...
Because, if you're trying to tell people what to do with their lives and to follow these rules or something bad will happen, most of the time you don't have the best motives. I'm just going to go ahead and say it.
It's true.
But
it's true. Especially when there's money involved, or there's whatever involved, a power.
Oh, there's always...
structure involved.
Yeah, and I mean... It is amazing the things that people have gotten away with in the name of religion. And one of my favorite quotes in the world, not because it isn't sad, but just because it's so clear and so correct, is Dan Savage saying, if as many kids got molested at Denny's as they do the Catholic Church, no parent would ever take their kid to Denny's.
It's true.
And it's true. It is just really...
Or anywhere. Or Burger King.
But I mean, the track record is bad.
It's bad.
It's real bad.
It's bad.
And I guess I shouldn't talk about, in theory, there are people that I know of where they currently work for a Catholic church and they have 1 million siblings, and 2 or 3 of them were molested. Ugh, and it's but they still, as an adult, are I live to serve the Catholic Church. Can you imagine? It's someone you get molested by R. Kelly, and then your siblings I'm gonna be the personal assistant to R. Kelly. Yeah. But that's religion. It's insane. And I just feel people who tell you especially people who tell you what happens after we die with authority, and they want to give you rules about it. And give you shame about things.
It's a crazy thing.
The audacity.
The audacity.
And I just feel you are so much less likely to be manipulated and controlled if you're just you know what, I've got my own antenna, and I don't really need I don't need someone else to say, hey, you're okay, you're getting into heaven, because I don't think anybody can guarantee that if there is a heaven. Yeah. But I also feel the world is too wild and insane and like, I don't know, and mysterious for there not to be something. So is that too long, or is that truncated enough?
I think that, I mean, I think that's a great answer.
Okay.
I concur with a lot of that.
Concur?
I concur.
Ooh, that was good.
I concur with a lot of what you're saying. Because to me, you know, you have spirituality and you have these are like fluid
Mm-hmm.
things, and you feel what you feel, and it changes through time, and like,
as
and
you
that's,
age, it changes,
and it's personal.
Uh-huh.
But then you see that kindness is everybody has. You know, your morals align with other people's morals. All of that to me makes sense. But religion proper, to me is an entire way of life that's based on a text that has changed, a fluid text. Like, you know, the Bible is old. No one really knows, and also it's been interpreted a bunch of different ways. So where is it that you build your thing on? Was it when before or after Paul III decided to add something about a weird bush that was on fire outside of his place? You know what I mean? Like some dude down the street was like, you know, and added text to a thing that became I don't know. Not that I think that that's true, but I just think basing an entire structure of who is right and who's wrong and whatever, that is supposedly a stone cold structure that never moves, but it's constantly different, and you're cherry picking the part that you want to say over the other part, but apparently it's all, I don't know. It's a structure that I think is weird, and clearly it breeds the wrong type of people, because clearly there's, you know, war. There's like, war, there's nastiness, there's all, you know, all kinds of things.
And not to be too, you know, obviously this is a podcast for fun, but I feel like it can't go unsaid, like the atrocities that are happening right now with Israel and Gaza and all the things, like basically everyone, I don't know, we don't need to get into it, but it's more just like the murder of so many children in the name of fucking religion. And like, it's so upsetting, and it's just, I don't know. And I feel like because I don't know, there are some creepy Jews for Jesus who like are invested in the idea. Also, by the way, do you know that the reason why the religious right is so obsessed with Israel is because part of the plan for Jesus coming back and the whole world ending is that like all the Jews will go back to Israel, and like it's like a step, and so it's like you know, and like and so basically like Jews like going, like Israel being a state that like that, you know, collects all the Jews, and then they accept Jesus and all the things, like it is part of this mythology. And to me, like I'm really interested in mythology. Like I'm a nerd, obviously. I'm fucked up, obviously. I like mythology, but like when you, and I'm no expert, but like when you look at all the things in the Bible and all the part of the Christian story that is presented as like lawful fact, it is very much mythology. Yeah. And you can see parallels with other religions in so many ways. Like it is just so silly, and like you just have to have these blinders on. And I think my biggest gripe, besides, you know, all the murder and rape and stuff with religion, is just that it kills critical thinking. And I saw that so much, like when I moved to Alabama around middle school, and I had been in like military schools, like in other countries and stuff. And even just when I was in like a non-military school before, like it was very, I don't know, I was so shocked by how different the culture was, as far as like if you want to question something, make a joke about something, you're kind of immediately reprimanded, and it really teaches people to stop at a question.
Yeah, true.
And just like listen to what they're saying and move on. And that just like factors into it just slowly poisons the water supply in this way that it like has turned us into this place where like Trump is running for president again.
Yeah, I have a hard time with. I mean, one of the parallels I can kind of see with the political thing and then the hardcore growing up. If you grew up hardcore,
Free Palestine,
hardcore Christian or whatever, you are taught to think that your critical thinking is wrong. You're taught to think that no, there's that the world actually is millions of years old, and actually there was some other shit that happened. And whatever,
dinosaurs were our best friends.
Yeah, I mean.
Also, by the way, that was a whole money making scam from a guy who got kicked out of Australia for fraud. He came over the Ken Ham and like selling this course to the Bible people about how the carbon dating is wrong and that dinosaurs are really like our friends and that the Ark had dinosaurs on it, and he's the one who's behind that like Ark Adventure or whatever, that like religious theme park that's near here.
Oh, Lord.
Sorry, but it truly was. He got kicked out of Australia for fraud, and he was like, what's a great money-making scheme? All these people are desperate. Like, these kids, these homeschool kids are desperate for something cool, like dinosaurs, and it's like, you can't even have the dinosaurs, And it's like, but what if we could sell them curriculum that was about how, dinosaurs and people lived at the same time to make all the
dinosaurs and religion.
Yeah, so you can somehow make up your own pseudoscience to blend these timelines.
That's crazy.
And just say, and like because they just assume that you're vetted by God, they wouldn't be, getting a flyer for your materials and your like, you visiting their town for these like homeschool meetups, like unless it was something they were supposed to. My husband grew up with this shit, and then working at a used bookstore forever, I saw a bunch of the books come in, and they are fantastic. And I'm so sorry I derailed you.
No. So I personally think that we need a full Patreon episode or whatever, or a full whatever episode of just books that you saw from where you work, because that shit is hilarious.
That would be so good. That's a great idea.
I think we need to do a full, and it could even be part one. Y'all, she worked at McKay's.
McKay's is a used bookstore.
And it's an amazing used bookstore.
Yes, and they're in Tennessee and North Carolina. They used to be Ed McKay's North Carolina, and I actually worked at the Ed McKay's in Greensboro, and then moved them.
There's one in Knoxville too, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
That I think was the first one that she opened. Maybe
I've never been, but I've driven by.
And so I moved to Nashville. Then I worked with Toby. Was terrible at waitressing, got fired. Started working at the used bookstore here. It's a version of the one that I went before. Met my husband, and also collected so many amazing books. And so many of the.
You'd give some to us too.
Yes.
And it'd be the best. The best present of the entire year.
I remember there was one about Uncle What Is It is coming to visit. That was about talking kids through like a genderqueer uncle like coming and like to visit and address. And it was of course like they were meaning well, but it was like it wasn't something that was saying like shoot him and bury him in the yard. It was
which I think is an appropriate book to not write.
Yes.
Like let's not write that one.
No, it's been written.
So I'm dying to hear some crazy stories about books. A book that my mom got me when I was little. Mm-hmm. There was we could do
little fancy boy.
We could do an entire thing also about how I was engabled. I literally was engabled. Oliver Button is a sissy.
Okay.
And it was about a little kid who was really artistic and danced.
Faggot.
Totally! Oh my god! Oh, totally! And it was the sweetest book ever because like he was made fun of, and they threw Oliver Button's shoes, like dance shoes, over him, and he couldn't get them, and they bullied him and stuff. And then he performed at the talent show. And he danced and whatever, and everybody loved him. And everybody was like, "Oh, we love Oliver Button," even though he's a sissy. It was called Oliver Button is a sissy.
Okay, I really have to find this children's book. I can't believe it's so rare that there are children's books that I haven't seen because, again,
Have you not seen this one?
I don't think I've ever seen this one.
I'll have to look
I mean, I would know because I would immediately, like, I wouldn't get by me.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, key to her place where she worked at McKay's. Anybody could drop off in whatever books they want and either get money, cash, or more
store credit,
which would be for more. And so you guys got everybody's like backlog of books that they've never read or whatever from everywhere.
So we saw everything, and like a lot of times, like people would put in large orders that literally they were just throwing boxes in a laundry cart, and like it was a situation of like, anything that we don't use we're gonna throw away, we'll mail you a check or store credit, whatever. Like it was very much like so many, like some people were very precious about their things and that way, but there were so many people that just did not give a fuck about what they had, and we would find the most incredible things, but also some of just the most just what is this world publications.
Actual name.
Yeah.
Hashtag what is this world?
But I was the children's book director.
Even better.
And so not to brag, I love, that was one of the best jobs ever because I just listened to podcasts. I was an early adopter of podcasts. Mm-hmm. I just listened to podcasts and looked through children's books and like, and sorted them how I wanted, priced them how I wanted. And I made them a ton of money, and they gave me $0. And then I got different jobs, but I still miss it. And I have a lot of amazing books that we should go back to. Also, we've done so well. I mean, we've done great.
We've done great.
We've done great, but we really have only done the 2 first items on our agenda.
Do we have a question? Or are we doing another thing?
Okay.
I'm so lame and don't have any questions at all.
All right.
Or advice.
We do. So the question we have, I'm just worried about it being a little too heavy-handed because the question we have is about
boundaries?
Somebody. It's from my mom.
Yeah.
Boundaries? Question mark?
I remember writing that shit. I was like, we're gonna talk about this.
That was one of the funniest.
That was a hard laugh. You laughed really hard.
It took me a really long time to recover. I'm sorry.
You laughed really extra hard at that, which is amazing.
I'm sorry if that hurt anybody's ears.
Oh my God, no, please. It was amazing. Oh no, please. Oh please.
Oh please.
If you do we, this is such a random thing. Are we gonna remember where we are if I tell the story?
Yes.
Okay.
Tell the story.
So there is a clip of Michael Jackson being interviewed, and it's just the audio from it, and he's being interviewed, and they're like, so what is... No, it's not just the audio of it. It's like, but it's just a clip from it. And the guy's like, well, what do you say about people that say you got your skin lightened and your chin done and your nose done? And he's like, oh, no, it's not true. No, none of it is true. Oh, no, they made it up. No, none of it is true. No. And it's... Just the sound of it is so funny. Wow. Like if you just take the clip of him saying it, no, none of it is true. They made it up. No, like it's just such a. I mean, he was an eccentric human being, but good for the memes.
A heavily drugged human being, especially when like your nose is falling off intermittently. Sometimes you need a little extra drugs, and
it's hard to say poor him. When he was a whatever, I don't know if he was a billionaire or not, but he had plenty of freaking money. And so it's hard to say poor him, but I feel like with him, poor him, a little bit.
Yeah, I think we did.
And no way to victim shame, as we said before.
No, yeah, we had a fishbowl question about Mike. I think maybe our first one. Our first one, so it's come back around. And so we did discuss the what's uncomfortable with Michael Jackson. I think it's fine to. I feel like he's deserving of empathy, but obviously we're responsible for our choices, and maybe let's not have sleepovers with little kids, whether you're Michael Jackson or Gandhi. I know they're called back to another episode.
I mean, if he's hanging with, Mahatma, right?
You and your... I mean, we're talking about the person who, like...
Oh, we're sorry. Yeah, okay.
But no, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I love the way you talk about Gandhi. This person who is like, he like, not in any way perfect by no means, but like, freeing India from England's colonial grip, which is like very, very like that's very hard to do. And his this life of like gravitas and like struggle and
I whittle that shit right on down.
And like it's so amazing. You're just like, well, maybe I will stay with him for a little while to like enjoy the lifestyle. And then I just fell in love with you even more. So I think we should just not. So the advice thing that I was gonna say. Also, there's everything. I just wanted to keep talking about other things, because what you just said reminded me of other things.
We can. I mean, whatever. Let's talk about other things, and then we'll do our upright and uptight, and if we even have any. What other things did you want to talk about? My stickers, the other stickers. No, I'm just.
I do like your stickers. I'm also a sticker bitch.
I'm a sticker bitch. I have another Janice sticker too.
Oh, you do?
I do. This is for the upright and fancy notebook that I haven't used because I started using it. I started using it and it was not.
You have some very sensual fruit on there. That papaya on the back?
Sensual fruit. Ew, it is.
Yeah, look at that papaya.
The aforementioned sensual fruit. Ew,
ew, but
it's tacky. It's tacky. I'm just kidding.
But you're the OG sensual fruit, Chris.
Oh, that's so kind of you.
That's just true. So,
did you think OG these days just means old? You're the OG one is the nice way to say dang.
It's also because of weed culture. It's also a way to say dank. So, I feel like there's I don't think it's old with disrespect. I think it's putting some respect on the name of old. And I'll take it because I'm getting older and I'm fine with it. But also like, it would be nice to not be dismissed, but more, just,
admitted.
Admitted?
Is that the opposite of dismissed?
What?
If you're dismissed, but then you're admitted? Admitted that way, like in a different way, like in an active way. You're admitted, like into a hospital.
That's what I'm hearing. Are you?
This is what I'm hearing here. Yeah.
I don't want to be admitted, especially not because I'm middle-aged and talking about how everything sucks. Because that's not crazy.
Yeah,
that's
not great.
But if you do want to give me some ketamine and send me to a spa for a little while, I'm open to it. Believe me. Would you like to do some therapeutic mushrooms?
Why not?
Why not? I mean, honestly, it's very helpful. But I think that, but again, entertainment purposes, not advice purposes.
Entertainment purposes.
But
there was something else I was going to say about that too, and it's guilt.
Yeah, so many of the things I was going to say are gone, but basically the advice thing when I was saying not to be too heavy-handed was that my question was somebody who was like she had started some like early like I don't know, just kind of like divination stuff and was trying to figure out what it was. And we talked about like tarot stuff and everything. Uh-huh. So I feel like we'll save that for another time so it's not too heavy-handed. Okay. But then I remembered what I also wanted to say, which is there is this song about boundaries that I play for the children that I work for. And it's so funny and I want to share it with you. And again, I would like to just say, I don't have a sense of key.
It's all right.
So this is
it's the effort.
This is, I believe it's just called the Boundaries song. And it goes something like please stop, I don't like that. I'm feeling uncomfortable, I need more space. Please stop, I don't like that. Don't take it personally, it's just a boundary.
Oh my God, that is what that's a great song.
It's great, and the kids love it. They really. At first, it was just a Spotify,
a weird
suggestion.
Find or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, they just threw it in there, and there's a lot of that stuff that is horrible. I mean, especially with music for children. Jesus Christ, so much of it is horrible. But that one came on, and at first, it just made me laugh, and then
that's pretty amazing.
And then I was like, actually, this is great information, and the kids all respond to it. They ask for it, and it's just and it's a great. I don't know. It's a great way to I don't know, to start making those pathways in little brains about,
Especially little, like, Danny over there that's already aggressive at age 2. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I mean, you need to, like,
No.
Kids are also, like, they don't have...
I would have heard that song and been like,
yeah.
like that, because I was like, I always grew up the least, I was like, we're good. Like, I'm not going to make any waves. I'm only going to be positive Polly over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would have worked for me.
I mean, I feel like for me, it would have been such a lovely thing to hear, just as far as like, wait, there's a language for like what I can say when I don't like this, because I think that it's like, it takes such a long time to figure out, especially, I know everyone has their struggles and, gender is fluid and all these things, but I think especially people who they grow up as little girls and they are taught the things that little girls are typically taught. It is really just about making other people feel good and like taking care of other people's needs. Yeah. And so you're just trying to figure out how to say something as nice as possible, but also get your point across. It's also, like, that ain't it.
It's also like the whatever conflict that is where you don't know how, you feel something, but you don't know how to articulate it, is not one that is ever recognized. Like, or been like, hey, by the way, you might feel weird things that, you might not want to do something.
And also that whole idea that, like, the world is full of, like, nice people that you should trust, except for, like, stranger danger. Lots of confusing messages, but I think that, like, in general, things are just made so safe and positive in, like, children's worlds, and so it's really hard when they do meet these people who are making them feel uncomfortable. They don't have a framework for, like, to figure out, like, okay, what is this and how do I deal with it? You just are trying to, like, be like, well, they're probably fine. Yeah. And, like, the thing is, it's just, like, I mean, all God's children are terrible. And kids, their whole brains are under construction. So it's very important to, like, not look at what kids do. I'm going to put a few minutes on the timer.
Yes, well done.
And not look at what kids do and, like, demonize them as, like, oh, these are demon children. But just look at them as, like, these are people whose brains are under construction and they're figuring it out. And so we need to model, good boundaries and shit for them.
Boundaries?
But boundaries. I'm feeling uncomfortable, Chris. I need more space.
We're gonna pull out and be like, boundaries? Again, because you put it back in there.
I'm gonna get my next tattoo is just gonna say boundaries? Question mark? I'll put it like on my inner thigh.
Yeah, totally.
It's gonna be great.
That's
and
amazing.
And our lives are fun. And if you would like to send us a question that we will answer.
Yes, we will.
And thank you for anyone who has sent questions. We are keeping them. Today we've just been feeling silly and fun, and we want to, and I think that one of my natural gifts, quote unquote, is that I like to give lots of advice that no one asked for. I think I already did that.
Me too. Yeah. That's why we gel together, because we give good counter advice as well. We give good devil's advocate. And by devil's advocate I mean, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I feel like we'd give good devil's 3-way if anyone else is interested. I'm just kidding.
Oh, see, it's a little thing. At Menage, there used to be a place here called Menage that was like a hookup bar or whatever. But,
did you ever go to Menage?
I never did. I know people who did, though.
I bet you do.
You can come on the podcast if you want.
Come on, sluts.
Yeah.
Open casting call.
Open casting call at uprightandfancy@gmail.com. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, there have been some funny little sex clubs that have opened and shit in Nashville that I would love to hear more intel about.
But apparently there was, like, good music and, like, there was food and, like, it was kind of a thing.
We were talking about having people give us their questions and how to do that, weren't we?
Yes. Please send us an email at uprightandfancy@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. You also find us on the socials.
Instagram, YouTube.
Slide into our DMs. But we are...
Facebook as well, I guess. We'll have a Facebook as well.
And
for those of a certain age.
I mean, it has its utilities.
It certainly does.
And so send us an email also if you would like to. Send us a voice memo. You can just record it, attach it to an email. And it's simple, and we won't give your name, but we will play your voice, yes. Or we can just paraphrase if you don't want your voice played. But also, why? Life is short.
Please send us questions that I know are dear and near and dear to
They can be
heart.
serious. They can be silly.
They can be silly, or they can be boundaries.
Or just if you just want to send us boundaries. Please let us know. We are so excited to be doing this, and we are just at the very beginning. Typically, at this point, we would do a upright and uptight kind of a situation. Yeah. I don't think I really prepared anything. Did you prepare anything?
I really didn't. I've gotten bad about preparing for the upright and uptights.
We just started, Chris. Get it together. I mean, clearly, I did not either.
So. So what I'm upright about, I'm upright and fancy about, is going on my next ship.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about it. It's been a long time. And I'm excited about it, and I am excited to get back up on stage and be doing stuff, and it's going to be a good time. And again, I think I mentioned this before, I'm on the swankiest ship of all time, so they treat
free
us...
Free drinks, and they're good drinks.
They treat us as if we were passengers, and the passengers pay a whole lot of money to be on there, and it is an amazing time. I do have to dress up all the time. So I wear a suit all the time. And
really?
Hardcore. I'm hardcore. Yeah, it's hardcore. I mean, not during the day and stuff, but I do have to dress up.
Is it like after 6 you have to be in a tux?
After 6, it's not a tux, but after 6 you cannot wear shorts or jeans.
Not jean shorts?
And not jorts.
Man.
Now, I have seen people go into the buffet and stuff with shorts and stuff later at night. So I think maybe that's just in the restaurants, whatever. But generally they're super hardcore. But at the buffet, so normally the buffet, you're like some weird Asian-y thing and a salad and some weird barbecue chicken-y thing or whatever. It's all amazing. But at times it can feel like that, on the region that I'm going on. You're
just rubbing your thighs while you're talking about it.
I'm like, so there's warm buttered lobster.
Good. Wait, warm buttered lobster?
On the buffet.
What?
You go and there's a guy, there are a couple guys that are just cooking right there, and you can have giant prawns, lobster, filet, ribeye, whatever the special is. You can just have. I can be like, hi, can I have 17 lobster things? And they'd be like, okay, we'll find you. Of course, I would never. But it is the first time in my life that I understood that too much lobster is not good for the old man over here.
Well, it's very high in cholesterol.
Well, I mean, after 2 nights of having lobster, it's so bougie to say, but after 2 nights of having lobster, I'm not okay. I'm like,
ooh, yeah, the crustacean's revenge.
Yeah, Montezuma's.
Yes, exactly. I have to say, okay, I think... Can I just tell a silly story?
Yes, please.
I'm so sorry.
All day silly stories, I'm happy about it.
Okay, right. So eating crayfish has always been so weird to me.
It's weird.
But I also know it's a cultural thing. I wish that I was hardcore enough to just be like, I'm gonna suck on that head. But I'm like, no, not something also called a mud bug. Yeah. Also, not the brain juice. No. I'm not...
the eyeballs and and the whiskers and shit.
And already the sound is so difficult. But my dear friend...
If everybody got that meat out and then let me eat it in a pasta, sure. But I don't want to see the shit.
Yeah, you put it in a nice ravioli.
Yeah.
You serve it with a nice Chianti. But so one of my dear friends, she grew up in South Alabama. She loves crayfish, but she was blind for a very long time, and but in a way that was very under the radar. And so that's the only explanation we can think of why she eats crayfish the way she does. But we went to a restaurant. She was very drunk. It was our birthdays, and she got this like this giant pile of crayfish, and just it was really like a thing out of like an 80s alien movie. And like the crunching of bone.
Oh,
and the shell. Like,
the exoskeleton.
The exoskeleton. She was like eating parts of it.
Oh, I can't.
And like her husband was there, and I was like, "How is?"
He was like, that's what brought the milkshake to her yard. You know what I'm saying? That mouth.
No, my mouth though.
Eat it like you do the crayfish, baby.
I think. I mean, I think it was like, for some reason, I think it was like one of his first times, like really seeing her eat crayfish the way that she, and like he handled it. I mean, they've been married a long time, and he handled it very well. But he was like, it was kind of thinking back in his chair, like, so who taught you how to eat? Who did you eat crayfish with? But like, it was really just like my stepmother's an alien, or like some kind of like, just like what is happening, or like or like Coneheads kind of a moment of like, this is like surreal. And then of course, like then you're like, in addition to it being gross and hilarious, which I mean, I laughed so much, and I loved her even more. But I was just thinking about, like, this is going to destroy your butthole also.
Oh, God.
Because...
I mean, if she was doing it like that, then it's not like this is not her first crayfish rodeo. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think
she's had it before. That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, yeah, it was confusing. Also, then she demanded that we order alligator, even though she doesn't eat alligator, and neither... her husband nor I wanted the alligator. She tried to buy alligator for everyone in the restaurant. It was a special night. Huh. I did a shot with an oyster in it that almost made me vomit.
Oysters are gross.
I mean, especially...
I can do mussels for some reason, even though they look like little vaginas. I'm like, they like little... They do to me, and I'm like, what's up with that?
What's up with that?
What's up with that? But,
what's up with that?
But I do love mussels, but somehow oysters are like there's something real extra gross about that.
I mean, I feel like I like to rise above if the oysters are of good quality, but if the oysters are questionable, never ever. People die every single year in this country from bad oysters. Is that the way you want to go out? Yes, it's true.
Oh man, that would be really unpleasant. Mm-hmm. Do you just like blow ass until you die?
Pretty much.
Oh God. Sometimes I felt like I was going to blow ass until I died, but I lived.
Of course, but you want to live after that.
I definitely want to.
Yeah.
That moment when you're done blowing ass, when you're like, oh, thank God. Oh, man, I really needed to do that. That's worth it. To me, that's worth it.
Not familiar.
You're a lady.
No, I mean, yeah,
I'm a gross dude.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I don't think I've ever made a bad smell in my whole life.
Ever?
And, yeah.
I see that.
I just, all of my excrement is just transferred to, like, puppies, and then they do it.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I really, like, I swear my grandmother... Like at the end of my grandmother's life, she started like farting or whatever, you know, every once in a while, and like it was so funny to me because I don't think she could hear herself do it, which is why she didn't know that it, because she was literally the most charming, sweetest Southern thing ever. Like you would never. She one time burped, you know what I mean? Like she was the most Southern,
and all of a sudden
she was ripping them, and like I swear it made the room smell better. Like she was the sweetest. Kindest, most lovely, amazing person.
I this was a speech
I should have, no, but like...
even her farts made the world a better place.
I just found that to be... She smoked cigarettes her whole life, and I never would have known. Like, you just never smell. She was always just lovely. Mm-hmm. And it was always just the best thing ever, and there was never anything weird. I swear she never pooped or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah. Well, let me just add, I feel like we're at the very, very end of the very end.
I think we're at the teep.
And so I just have to say, well, what do I have to say at this point except for the fact that I think it's a fun fact that my German grandmother used to refer to her vagina as her kalala.
Her kalala.
Kalala. And I don't know what the origin of it is. I don't know if that's a common thing. So, you know, it's just come at us in the comments if you're familiar with
the
kalala.
comments.
But she was the comments. She used to, when we were old enough to be freaked out by it, at one point I remember her kind of like like with a sense of humor, like kind of running around the house after it's going, I have a nice sweet kalala.
Oh Lord.
And of course we were all just like, grandma.
That is so my mom.
So, yeah, if you have a nice sweet kalala, please like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe for some sweet kalala.
And we are just so excited. And I don't even have an upright and fancy besides the fact that fucking Cowboy Carter coming out, 3/29, already out by this time. I have reordered the vinyl. I got the blue one. It was way too expensive. And I just am so excited because I just feel...
You deserve it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just, you
fucking deserve it.
I mean, with shipping, it was like $60 fucking for a record. But
limited edition.
Maybe there's also a little bit of a rumor that maybe she signed some of the pre-orders.
Ooh,
RuPaul's book. I got a
oh my god, I'm dying
pre-order.
to read that. I'm dying to read
Yes.
it. We should
Also,
do a book club about it.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So that's how we close the show. Is that we've made a decision.
We've made a decision.
We're going to do a book club on the House of Hidden Meanings by RuPaul.
Yes.
So go get it.
Go get it so you can read it with us.
Read it with us.
Whenever this comes out.
No, but we can do the book club things. We can rush those. We don't have to put them in order.
Sure.
So let's say let's read it by the middle of April. No.
I'll try. Yeah, but because middle of April will be when we start back up recording.
Yeah, let's read it by the middle of April.
All right.
All right, and then we'll do a little book club.
All right.
The House of Hidden Meanings.
Exciting.
Oh my god, I love this.
I know. I love it too.
All right.
Okay.
Do you want to sing us out? I feel like you should have an outro.
A little. How about upright, hidden fat.
Boundaries.
Boundaries? I got tickled and it made me laugh. Okay, so just the end.
Upright, and boundaries?
And boundaries? Upright, and fancy, upright, and fancy. Starring
Kira
and Grizz.
And we love you.
Ooh, we love you.